In the 2020s, a pandemic crippled the world. Some panicked, some denied it. These two guys stayed home, drank, and watched movies. These are the Jaymeson tapes.
This movie fucking sucked.
Winnie the Pooh!
Hey everyone, and welcome. We each paid $5 to rent this movie, so goddamn it, we're gonna talk about it. Hey Bisme, what you drinking?
I'm glad you asked. I started out during our viewing with Vieille Provision Saison Dupont, which is a Belgian farmhouse ale from Belgium, which is really cool and delicious. And then the actual interesting part of my drinking regimen today, I decided to go back to some gin, but I picked up something interesting. It's Irish gin, and it's
Oh.
gunpowder strength, and it's called Drum Chambeau, and it advertises itself as having Oriental botanicals.
Huh.
I don't know which botanicals. That's probably protected information.
Irish Oriental gin.
Yeah, obviously. And instead of garnishing with a lime or a lemon or even cucumbers I've done in the past, I've put in an orange slice, and it's actually very delicious.
So, on my end, on a previous episode, I think I drank just the Howlerhead Old Fashions.
Mm-hmm.
Howlerhead is the banana whiskey that actually doesn't taste like candy. It tastes like both whiskey and actual banana. I've gone ahead and did the thing I talked about doing, and I've gone full tiki with it.
Nice.
So I made an old fashioned using Howlerhead whiskey and using what's called Polynesian Kiss bitters, which have like notes of like guava and passion fruit and pineapple.
Ooh.
And instead of simple syrup, I used orgeat.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's basically a tiki old fashioned. I also bought a 4-pack of Sunny D vodka seltzers.
Oh, hell yes. I would totally try that. That is amazing.
Oh, I've also pre-gamed considerably today.
You have. You started the day out with texting us on Discord a picture of you doing, hey, margarita flight.
Yes, I did a flight of 4 margaritas. They were a pina colada margarita, a guava margarita, and 2 others.
I have to say as well, a few weeks ago, I was at a bar and they had what was called a gin old fashioned, which is an old fashioned but with gin and elderflower. And it was actually really fucking good. So that's something I might look to recreate myself.
I mean, we kind of did
But
that.
we kind of like it was, but it wasn't. What they did was actually really delicious. So
But yeah, I had a flight of 4 margaritas. And then I was like, well, I really like those, so let's give their house margarita a try. And that was fantastic. It was just their basic margarita. And kudos to that place. I will definitely be returning. But I had... So the margarita flights, like, they were little margaritas. After feeling how they affected me, I asked the server, how much tequila is in each of these? And he's like, about a shot. Oh. So, in under an hour for my lunch today, I drank essentially like 6 shots of tequila.
And none of that could prepare you for what we just
It
watched.
sure couldn't. For the most part, we got what we expected, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, we watched Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Boy fucking howdy, was that movie. A movie. Barely.
Barely.
And parts of it are baffling.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird that, like, there's a half of me, like, well, that's exactly what I expected that to be. And there's, like, the other half of me just still, for some reason, like, why the fuck did they do that?
It's an exercise in disappointment and why didn't you do X?
Yeah.
So much of this movie is just, it prompts questions of, like, this was an obvious choice. Why didn't you do that? And all it does is raise more questions of why was this made? Whom was this made for? And I don't know if I'm ever going to get those answers.
I'm trying to think of another example of, like, fictional imaginary friends.
Okay, I have an idea.
You could take, like, any childhood imaginary friend story and just change the names to that, it would not change anything about the film. Is the point I was trying to make.
Here's my question. The reason we watch this is because it's kind of a new trend, possibly emerging trend in horror cinema of, hey, delightful children's novels are entering the public domain. And because of that, people are going to use them for horror movies. Interesting idea. Potentially very good. So, and we knew going in that the reviews were very, very poor. but we wanted to just kind of do it for the, does this trend have legs to stand on, even if it's shit, the movie that is. So we
Yeah.
did that. But my question is, let's give, you and I the prompt. You have to make Winnie the Pooh into a horror movie. What's your premise? What's your idea?
Okay. It's not this.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's anything but this. My idea, very
Yeah.
briefly, would be, and I'm going to steal a little bit from the plot because, okay, fine, some of it's a decent premise. Christopher Robin leaves the 100 Acre Wood. That upsets the inhabitants of the 100 Acre Wood. We follow Winnie the Pooh. We don't follow other people. We follow him trying to find Christopher Robin for revenge and hacking and slashing his way through victims to do so. And in between those scenes, we have flashbacks of Christopher Robin interacting with Winnie the Pooh, and it's all pastoral and idyllic. And it's everything, you understand why Winnie the Pooh is angry, why he's doing this, which I think is a better film than what we got. That's what I would have gone with, but I would have had like establishing shots.
I could have even gone with Christopher Robin doesn't leave, and it's just like Winnie the Pooh, like getting older, but like not able to fight being a bear.
That'd be good too.
Anything but what we got.
What we got, and we'll get into it, but this is the big question.
Oh, the example
movie...
I finally came up with was Barney the dinosaur and Bebop. If you had just swapped out the setting for the fucking school where schoolhouse Barney the dinosaur inhabited, and just replaced Winnie the Pooh with Barney and Piglet with Bebop, it's basically the same film. You wouldn't have to change anything else except the setting and who the characters were, which is a testament to them doing absolutely nothing with the IP.
Which begs the question, this movie was sold on the fact that this is Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Ha, it's in the public domain. Come check it out. And it does little to nothing with the IP.
If you're not going to have bother, then why bother? There it is, everyone. There's the sound clip.
Yeah, like I don't get it. Like we have the 100 Acre Wood, which at least that seems like an entity unto itself. A little bit. It's a place where people go and they die. It's a trailer park. Pooh and Piglet live in a trailer park.
There's no
okay
reason given for that, but sure.
So the 100 Acre Wood is a trailer park.
Oh, well,
actually, I would love if all the characters of the 100 Acre Wood were like wearing wife beaters. That would be great. Where the fuck have you been? Piglet's hooked on meth because you left. Okay, I guess we gotta get into the movie at this point.
So the movie starts off with an animated sequence that's probably the most effective thing the film does. There's a little mini animated sequence that, like, Christopher Robin hung out with the animals in the 100 Acre Woods, and then one day, and he brought them food and fed them and was their friends, yada yada yada. So then one day, Christopher Robin grew up and decided he had to go be a doctor. So he told all his friends in the 100 Acre Wood, I have to leave, but you'll be fine on your own. And then they were super not fine on their own because they were fed by humans. Because they were fed by a human, which, I mean, you can make an argument for that being a message, but
sure,
they didn't know how to fend for themselves, so they started to starve. So Pooh then made the decision to they eat Eeyore. You guys can eat me, I guess.
I wasn't doing anything anyway. And then they blame Christopher Robin for it and all of humanity.
So they decide, and this is important. We'll circle back around to this point. They want nothing to do with humanity. They're abandoning their humanity, so they're no longer going to speak.
And by the way, they are described as half human, half animal abominations. So there's that.
That is,
I guess.
Thing. We cut to 5 years later. Christopher Robin got one of those fancy 5-year doctorates everyone's out there getting, and he's visiting with. He says it's his wife, but
his
fiance wife.
Yeah, like there's a line of soon you will marry Christopher Robin, implying that they're going to be married at some point in the future, meaning that fiance. But has a wedding ring on, so whatever.
So, anyway, this movie's very dumb and bad.
Yeah.
So, they start to realize something is off. I'm here to protect you, and I'm here to show you my talking bear friend.
I know there's a giant pot of blood over here, but we're safe.
Christopher takes his fiancée wife to the 100-acre wood so he can finally revisit his friends.
This is weird. Like, this was the first inkling that this movie
Yeah.
did not understand what it was doing or just didn't bother. He's taking her through the woods. They've been walking for 2 hours, and he's saying things like, "You don't think I'm crazy, right? No, I think you had an imaginary friend. You know, that's totally normal. Yeah, but they were real. I know you had a
No,
very
they're fucking
active
real.
imagination. No, they're real. You don't think I'm crazy, right? You don't think I'm crazy, right?" And it's like, it just, starts, it's just weird. And then they stumble upon like this obviously fabricated wood tunnel to enter into the domain of the 100-acre wood. It's strange.
So they start to realize something's very off, and they hide in one of the trailers. Then someone comes in and sleeps, and then it's suddenly nightfall. They leave the trailer while whoever is in the trailer is sleeping, and surprise, it's grown up Piglet and Winnie the Pooh, and grown up Piglet catches wife fiance and chokes her to death with chains, and his chains are a reoccurring thing for some reason.
Well, and Christopher Robin just kind of watches and
Yeah.
says, "Please stop doing that." Doesn't interfere
He
or
just
intervene
says, "Please stop,"
at
over
all.
and over again. Like, "Please stop, Piglet. Piglet, don't stop. Piglet, stop doing that. Stop, Piglet. Piglet, don't do that. Piglet, Piglet, Mummy, Piglet, fish and chips, Piglet, Mummy." Then Mary's dead, and we briefly cut back to the animated section here. This bit happens so fucking fast that we were, like,
Yeah.
for 5 minutes after this, we were trying to piece together what happened in this, like, flash of animated section. Basically, Pooh and Piglet show Christopher Robin the skeleton of Eeyore, who they ate, and then they set a body on fire, and we thought they just killed Christopher Robin at this point. But no, they burnt the dead body of his wife.
Can we talk about the animation real quick? So it depicts the animals of the 100-acre wood as like already weird, creepy, soulless things, and then makes them into other horrifying things when, Christopher Robin leaves.
It sure
Which
does.
is putting a hat on a hat, because the creepy thing would be like these beloved childhood characters that everyone has grown up with, then being morphed into something, being corrupted. That would be terrifying. But they were already like, how they
Yeah.
depict them when Christopher Robin finds them as a child is like weird and disgusting. And it's like, okay, well then who's surprised that this happened?
You know, the thing about that depiction is Owl and Rabbit, who we never see again.
Ever. They're not dead. They're not gone. It doesn't, like, all it had to say was,
and then they ate them.
either that or like the group decided that Pooh and Piglet would go out and get food and Owl and Rabbit would stay. Even that would have been fine. But it's literally just, here's 4, and then you only see 2.
Yeah, they couldn't afford those other 2
lazy.
masks. They literally
and they are just masks.
Fucking Halloween masks.
It's
bad.
not good.
And the Winnie the Pooh mask is always drooling honey, and the Piglet mask is not discernibly Piglet in any kind of way.
No, because it's like an actual boar with like boar tusks. And I get it, like Piglet's grown up and corrupted, but it doesn't, like, okay, Winnie Pooh has the Pooh mask and a red plaid shirt and blue coveralls. Okay, I can get that that's Winnie the Pooh. Piglet is just a boar mask with like a leather trench coat or something.
It could have been something
Piglet.
they fought on a shitty
How would I
episode of
tell?
Power Rangers.
Yes. It's not good.
We go to the other plot.
Good Lord.
Abysme and I are trying to figure out if Christopher Robin is dead or not.
Because we're asking ourselves, what happens? Our single frame of reference is Christopher Robin, and we think he's dead. He's just gone.
There are some girls. One of them is seeing a therapist for trauma about this dude who's stalking her. The movie spins. Okay.
And there's a lot.
A movie spends a lot of time on the whole that girl being stalked thing and does nothing with it.
Again, strange choice. The first 20 minutes is Winnie the Pooh related stuff. The next 20 minutes is this woman and her stalker. So, where is your focus? Who are we supposed to care about? Are we supposed to forget about Christopher Robin? Is he dead? I don't know. Cause, and I asked this during the viewing, like, did someone want to make a movie about a woman dealing with her stalker, but had to use Winnie the Pooh to get it funded? Because that doesn't make any sense. Because the whole movie is predicated on, hey, it's Winnie the Pooh, but horror. So why bother with this subplot?
I'm
That
glad
is
Why
now our
Bother
main
is a
plot.
thing now. But yeah, I'll tell you why. Because there needs to be hot girls to be killed by the slasher. A topless woman just got shoved in a wood chipper. We're totally subverting what it means to be Winnie the Pooh.
And oh man, yeah, I guess now we have to talk
It
about
is.
like this film is lazy. The writing is lazy. The dialogue is lazy. The costumes are lazy. Everything about this is just bare minimum get something out, but that still does not explain why Winnie the Pooh is the selling point. You could just make a slasher film and chuck it onto whatever streaming service, like fucking Shudder, sure, and just do that. Why bother? Oh, bother
I
with Winnie the Pooh. I
want to
don't
know
get
a
it.
weird feeling I had watching this. We got through the first 10 minutes
Okay.
where we get the animated intro, and then Christopher Robin comes back to visit, and it ends with possibly Christopher Robin getting killed, but not really. I feel like that 10 minutes, if they just made that the thing, put it out on YouTube, yeah. I've seen I've seen shit
Yeah.
like that on YouTube, and like,
Yeah.
you know what? That would have been that would have been a fine little slice, and it would have satisfied everything, and it wouldn't have gone into the why bother aspects of this film.
And I didn't say it on recording because I think we said it way too much for Skinamarink, but I was like, yeah, you know what, that first 10 minutes, that's a horror short on YouTube. Cool. That's fine. But cuz there's more you could do with that. Like there really is more you could do with the creatures of the 100-acre wood like seeking revenge or just like being unable to understand why Christopher Robin has let them, and like there's an idea there. And this movie did nothing with it. And there was so little, like there's like little glimpses of Pooh remembering, oh, this is my time with Christopher Robin, which was like, okay, cool, there's something. And it was succeeded by a
Yeah,
wreck the room
love it.
scene, or at least half
Love a
of
good-
one, which is
Love a
great.
good wreck the room scene.
And like, why are we not focusing more on that? It was great. It was probably my favorite part of the movie.
We get those
It was
little
about 10
flashes,
seconds.
and spoilers: Christopher Robin isn't dead. Literally, like the only other thing they do that's like kind of something is they have Pooh has Christopher Robin strung up, and Pooh whips Christopher Robin with Eeyore's tail. Yeah, fine, because Eeyore's
Which, you
tail
know
is
what,
the one that
okay,
always had
cool.
like the nail at the end of it, because he had to put on his tail. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, movie! Here's me writing something better. He should have nailed the tail into Christopher Robin. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Humiliate him, turn him into the new Eeyore. Like there's so many parts
Yeah.
of just like them not going. There's no follow through in this movie.
And then
for this
he
concept.
showers
There's zero.
Christopher Robin in his wife's blood. I think they're trying to imply they eat blood early on.
That's what they say at the beginning. It's like they need to feed on humans to survive, but and there's some scenes of them drinking blood and honey because haha title. But most of the time they're just like mutilating them. They're not like hanging them up and bleeding them dry. We don't see a collection method really.
You get one moment where things kind of interconnect, where he's whipping him with Eeyore's tail, but like the rest of the kills, like no one would make the connection to Winnie the Pooh. There is a kill in this movie where Winnie the fucking Pooh is driving a fucking car and just runs over a girl's head slowly. Why?
Yeah. To do with Winnie the Pooh. You have the entirety of the Winnie the Pooh backstory to lean on, and like you could do weird, interesting things with Winnie the Pooh. It just nothing is done.
I'd also like to nominate the new worst chase scene I've ever seen in a film.
Daylight
Piglet
one.
slowly chasing a woman while they're both in a fucking swimming pool.
Oh no, that was also pretty bad. This movie suffers pretty badly from like because again, nothing about this is creepy, and they had every opportunity to do so. But because none of the characters are creepy and none of the setups are good, none of the jump scares are good. There's no tension in the movie, so we just don't care about anything happening. And I'll talk about my scene that I'm referencing first, which is just one of the girl's friends, the girl who was stalked, lost her way. She's in front of the 100 Acre Wood, which may or may not be right next to where everyone else is. Who knows? But she just like is in a forest area, and then the camera pans, and there's Winnie in broad daylight, just there, and she sees him, and then he just like breaks into a sprint, and that's it. There's no buildup. That's just all that happens, and then she dies.
Like very early on, a girl gets stuffed into a wood chipper. Slasher prerequisite gets her tits out beforehand. Yeah.
It was only once.
I'll circle back to the point I initially made now that I've described a few of the kills. Hey, remember when like Winnie the Pooh and Piglet and ostensibly Rabbit and Owl promised to like give up the ways of man? I want everyone, if they watch this, and like please don't, but if you do watch this, and I want you to keep that promise in mind as you witness Winnie the Pooh in a fucking car. Driving a car. Winnie the Pooh in this movie, he's driving a car. You get to see Winnie the Pooh in a car.
They are so humanized, despite the fact that they have shed their human elements.
But the only human element they don't have is that they talk. And I don't know if they just didn't. The masks are too shitty to animate the mouths. I mean, we do get a lot of that if you've noticed all the really bad CG when they make Pooh smile and stuff like that. It's pretty terrible. But I don't know if they didn't. I don't know why they fucking did any of the things they.
I don't know, and that's like. Let's just finish the plot out, and then we can talk about this more generally.
A bunch of girls decide to stay in a cabin in the woods because one of them is being stalked, and it's going to help.
Which, by the way, after the animated intro sequence, there was this long intro credits sequence of nothing but like news reports and news radio broadcasts of, hey, people who go near the woods, the 100 Acre Woods, are all dying. They keep finding mutilated bodies. And so the therapist of the final girl, not even final girl, she dies. Spoilers. The therapist says like, hey, maybe go out to a remote area and find yourself or some shit.
So they all do that. One of them gets lost on the way there and goes to... Okay. Well, we got to talk about this movie's Larry briefly. This movie's Larry. I don't know if he has a name. He is the southern good old boy in England with a New York accent.
Everyone else in the movie has a British accent. This dude, it just inexplicably, is very southern sounding.
Well, he's very southern looking.
And we don't know why.
Well, thanks for visiting me here in jolly old England.
Welcome to Sherwood Forest, Yuck.
I own one of England's many southern gas stations.
We don't have tea, we have sweet tea, on account of this being a southern gas station here in jolly old England.
I understand you folks call it petrol. That's dumb.
Where I'm from, England, it's called gasoline.
Yeah, there's just like randomly in England, like a broken down Mississippi truck stop.
It looks like 100% the stop that the group in Tucker and Dale versus Evil stop at. It's that setup to a T. And there's no one in it, and our main character, post Christopher Robin, is wandering through it, and I don't even know how to fucking explain this.
One of the girls gets lost on the way to the place and gets stuffed into a fucking wood chipper. They all arrive at the cabin. They all decide to like collect all their cell phones. Literally the only thing in this movie I think I gave points to. Because, like, that's, like, becoming a thing. Like, everyone, like, you know, this weekend is about hanging out. No one have your phones. Don't actually do that. No one ever actually do that.
No. And you know what? That is an interesting development in a lot of horror films, especially ones of smaller budget, is everyone turn your phones off. We want to escape. Not. And yeah, no, we all should probably do that. But no one does it. You're ordering your food. You're coordinating with people. All sorts of stuff. No one is doing that. We're all still on our phones. I'm sorry to say. This drink is really good. I may need another to
The
talk
rest
about
of
this
this we can
fucking
kind of
movie.
rush through. Oh,
Sure.
okay. Then we get the Instagram girl in the hot tub taking pictures of herself. There
We
is so
straight up
many
pause the
padding out the
movie. Like the
runtime
movie just
scenes in this
stops
film.
to have this happen.
And this is one of them. This girl takes pictures of herself for a very long time, and I immediately called what was going to happen, that she's taking selfies, and then was going to notice that in the background of one of the photos is going to be them, and hey, that happened. So she briefly looks around, and she's like, fuck you, I'm going to party because this is my vacation. Then she gets ethered, and
Relatable.
And yeah, no, she gets chloroformed and then dragged out of the hot tub, and then they run over her head with a car.
And you know what? That was part of the trailer, actually, I remember now, was Pooh in a car, backlit. And when I originally saw that, my thoughts were, okay, this kind of has like a synthwave feel to it. Is it going to be Winnie the Pooh on like a car murder rampage? That's another alternate version, which would have been really fun. Just that. Like, it's absurd, but that would have been better than this. And I really like, oh God, like just all the missed opportunities, all the baffling choices. And anyway, what the fuck else happens? I don't know. A bunch of people die. Christopher Robin's alive. Oh no, before that, our movie's Larry gets him and the other good old boys together to like beat the shit out of Pooh, and they don't because he's immortal or something. I don't know. And they all die. And then Christopher Robin shows up and pins Pooh between a car and another car. But then Pooh's alive and he kills our final girl, who's not a final girl. Spoilers. And Christopher Robin, I guess, runs or something, and then the movie fucking ends.
You passed over something, but I'm going to save it because it might be amidst all of this garbage. My Spider Room moment.
Spider Room. Okay, I already know mine, which is
so yeah. Which is that's really the gist.
Particularly good, but true.
It also has an "oh, it's over" ending. The ending is Winnie the Pooh kills what was initially going to be our final girl, the one who was being stalked. And then Christopher Robin just leaves. He just leaves. Oh, Pooh says something for the first time in the film. That's,
There's no...
you left, is what he said.
Oh, right. Christopher Robin is pleading dearly, like, please stop. Why are you doing this? Which he said a billion times and doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
But then Pooh says, you left.
We got it.
Which we know.
We weren't confused about why any of
we know
this
that's his motivation.
You laid it out pretty bare bones in the opening of the fucking movie. So that's the lazy, cynical movie we watched. Yeah.
It really does reek of cynicism, doesn't it? Like, again, what's the point? Is it just to get your work out there? Because this is not this director's first film. He made something called Croc, the Area 51 incident, and some other things. This is not his first rodeo. So it's not, I got to make my mark, or I just got to like get something out there so people will take me. People will give me a bigger budget and I can make the film I want to.
Here's
like,
the
this
thing
is
we
number
have to
5
talk about with this movie. The budget for this movie was less than $100,000. It made $5.2 million.
Mm-hmm.
They have already announced a sequel.
Jesus Christ!
That I'm sorry, we're probably going to have to watch.
Oh God!
And he's also announced, Bambi
probably.
the Reckoning.
God damn it! That's a good idea.
He also
Winnie the Pooh,
announced
Blood and Honey is a good idea. Is he actually going to do anything
Peter
with
Pan's
it though?
Neverland Nightmare.
Yes. No, absolutely. Peter Pan is a if you have no concept of what Peter Pan like via Disney is, just reading out that concept is creepy as shit. It's weird. Like this random dude from another world or whatever just like shows up in children's bedrooms. That's a weird thing. That makes sense to me as a horror movie. But
I will say,
like, if this is what the quality is going to be,
the sequel
that's a shame.
Is expected to have a budget 5 times larger than the previous installment. Sure.
I mean, okay, sir, please
something.
put Owl and Rabbit in. Please have them say things. Do something with this, because it really is a decent idea. There's something to do there.
Man, okay. Here we go. The Banana Splits movie is like leagues better than this film.
Lay it on me. Really though, like, was it because I can't chalk this up to we didn't have enough time, we didn't have enough money. No, dude, like you spent so much time and money on things that should not matter in this film. This should be about Christopher Robin and him interacting with these horrendous creatures that were once his imaginary friends. That's your movie. Like that will hit people who all grew up in Winnie the Pooh right in the
Okay,
nostalgia feels. Why was that
here we
not
go.
the objective? I'm so
On
confused.
February 16th, 2023, Frank Waterfield explained in an interview with Yahoo Entertainment that the first draft of the film was meant to be more close to the original source material. However, the Walt Disney Company still retained the exclusive rights to depictions of these characters from their own franchise. Waterfield had to scrap the original script and rewrote it to avoid any legal trouble. Just why bother then?
Yeah. And okay. And Disney is incredibly litigious. This is no secret. But the
Yeah,
books, the original books are public domain. There's probably plenty to work with there. So, yeah, Disney could have like filed something frivolous. What could they actually do if you were staying true to the books? I really don't know. What like
I,
I would love to know what had to be cut.
yeah,
Because you could have done a rewrite.
baffling.
I don't know. And you know what? If he's caving under that pressure, then what's to say he's not going to cave when Peter Pan
Maybe
and
this
Disney goes,
experience has
and shakes
emboldened
their
him a
giant
little
mouse
bit. I
finger?
don't know, but
How's it going to be any different?
the other project section of the Wikipedia. Frank Waterfield also expressed interest in making films about Thor, the Norse god of thunder, as well as copyrighted franchises such as Teletubbies and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh no.
What? How are you going to do that?
I mean, you can do a parody of Teletubbies. You could just do the satire parody route.
I'd
Because then at
say
least you're
about
covered.
50% of this film functions as a so bad it's good film. I am not going to recommend it though. There's not enough there.
Yeah. If it was like a solid block of good
That
stuff
50%
where we
is
were
actually
enjoying
really
ourselves,
generous.
maybe. But it's so sparsely spread out. Yeah, like it's not consistent enough for me to be like, yeah, it's a good time, and then just ignore the last half or whatever. No, it's just like so many decisions. It's just so fucking sporadic. I can't recommend this as, yeah, it's a good time to view.
Yeah.
It starts out strong enough, but that does
So
not last long
what's
enough.
your Spider Room moment?
My Spider Room moment is a tie between Winnie the Pooh shedding a single tear of honey after destroying a room out of anger, and just him in broad daylight
All right.
breaking into a sprint to chase down Tina.
I've got
I think
two
that's
as well. One is the fact that there's a scene where everyone is panicking, everyone's panicking that there's a killer, and everyone's freaking the fuck out. And then suddenly, our main character remembers that they have a fucking hand cannon. Something
not even like a gun,
like
a fucking modded 357.
Johnny Dangerously 88 Magnum. It shoots through schools.
It's Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It was the biggest gun. Which
my other
dies
Spider
shot.
Room moment, and I think this is unprecedented, is the subtitles.
Oh yeah, good point.
I don't remember.
Shame on you.
Was it something that they thought? It was saying the lyrics
it was
of
like,
the
it was
score
saying,
of the film were saying sanguis, which is Latin for blood. But the subtitles of the movie kept saying that they were saying something over and over again, like the word something. Yeah, whatever else they were saying in Latin.
And then the subtitle after that was that smell. Which
but I don't know why. But like the creepy Latin score of the film.
Me neither.
The subtitles want us to think they're saying something, 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 something. That smell.
Something. There are parts where it's the word something 5 times in a row. I don't know what the audience is supposed to take away from that. It just sounds like you got lazy and went something.
So, lot of Spider Room moments for this one. I'm gonna make a cocktail now. Yeah, I actually.
Well, that's gonna be the easy part. Blood and honey.
I had an idea there.
Mead.
Like,
and something.
There is a blood orange mead, so we need to make the slightly worse version of that. So if you just took white wine and mixed honey
the laziest
into it, and some blood orange juice, like that is grenadine.
Or if you're really looking to disappoint your audience,
white
grenadine.
Boxed wine. Mix
it.
like not raw honey, just like dollar store honey into it. and not even grenadine. If you ever go to the gas station and they have like that one button that's like add cherry flavor to your soda, just like hold down on that button for a little bit, and there you go. Yeah, the why bother.
Yeah, we're gonna call it the why bother.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have even bothered.
And if anyone says this tastes like ass, you can be like, well, why bother?
Yeah, that was a real easy one.
Boom, done. The easiest drink we've ever
done.
done.
Don't watch this. If this ever, okay, if this pops up on Shudder or something eventually.
Do not give this movie money.
Or like,
seriously.
For free, sure, whatever. Knock yourself the fuck out.
I mean, and not even like, you got some friends watching. No, don't do this. This isn't a fun time. It's just baffling.
Watch fucking episode 1.
Yeah.
Bloody Pit of Horror. Do that.
Watch Fear and Loathing. We called that out.
This movie is bad and dumb. Bye.
Bye. The Jaymeson Tapes is hosted and created by Alan Cheney and Abysme. If you have a movie suggestion for the podcast, please leave a comment, message us on the Creative Horror Discord, or tweet at Creative Horror with the hashtag Jaymeson Tapes. Creative Horror is a network of creators working together to build a constructive community of horror fans. Please visit us at creativehorror.com.